Hello everyone, and welcome back to A Quiet Corner. Today I bring you a recommendation for a janky masterpiece. Zombies, permadeath, base building and resource management. A few of the many reasons why I love the State of Decay series. More State of Decay 2 than the original, but it still has its merits. It's without a doubt my favourite zombie game, closely shuffled after by Dying Light. In my opinion, few games have ever gotten the zombie and survival formula quite as right as State of Decay. A perfect game, this is not, but if you can look past it, it is truly special. The game has a palpable sense of tension that would be a great game even without these special zombies. There's nothing that changes a carefully laid out plan of stealthy sneaking faster than being spotted by a screamer and having it wail at the top of its lungs for help from everything in the surrounding area. The screamers don't have any arms and don't attack you, but given they call for help in a big radius, they should be thought of as top priority. The special zombies, referred to in-game as freaks, are less common than regular zombies, but require more of your attention when one shows up, each bringing their own distinctive threat and keeping things varied and interesting. I've been known to give ferals a wide berth until I can line up a headshot with my ranged weapon of choice as they are bounding towards me. While running down zombies with a car is usually a decent strategy if you're in a tight spot with a horde, ferals can dodge out of the way of your vehicle. Although a well-placed crossbow bolt right between the eyes will be enough to take one out, provided you can keep your nerve as it comes racing towards you on all fours. Given that crossbow bolt's reload speed is quite slow, you normally only get the one shot before it reaches you. If you miss, it's usually a case of getting a gun out, desperately slashing at it with a close range weapon, getting into a vehicle, or simply running away. I'd advise against running away as they are faster than your character even when you sprint. If you're going to run, get to the high ground, as they can't climb up entire buildings. They can, however, jump over small walls. They don't pose too much of a threat at range, but once they get up close, and if accompanied by a group of zombies, they can be a real issue for your community's survival plans, especially if you're travelling alone.
Okay, I'm hard.
There are the smelliest type of special zombie, the bloater. These pungent rotters, while not massively threatening by a damage standpoint, can render an area or vehicle uninhabitable for around 20 seconds. If you stand in the cloud for too long, your health will start to drop. It is also advisable not to run these over, as the cloud can stick to your vehicle, poisoning you for the duration. Lastly, there are the juggernauts, the resident bullet sponges, and leading cause of noping out of a situation with a quick mutter of, "That is so not worth it." You'll need to bring either explosives or some high caliber bullets to its bonds to take these pains in the asses out, especially the blood plague variant, which seem to go through bullets faster than I go through Pringles, 3 at a time. It can't be understated how big of a role sound plays in this game, from gunshots to vehicle noise to scavenging and building facilities at your base. Bringing explosives and guns into the equation should usually be saved for a last resort. Yes, guns and explosives will cause big damage, but they draw zombies from all around you. You'll need to prepare for either a long fight or to vacate the area quickly after using these. I'd recommend playing the game with headphones on, as it really enhances the experience and can even save you. When playing without them, you might miss the low groans of a zombie in a house you just broke into to scavenge for supplies, which might be the difference between being prepared for action and possibly losing one of your precious survivors. While looting at the house, the game will offer you a choice. You gamble while searching. Do you want to search faster than a slightly slow normal rate? If so, there's a good chance you will make a loud noise, drawing attention from the surrounding Zeds to your location. It's a nice risk-reward option. It's also handy if there are things already aware of your presence. You just want to get through everything before they find where you are. It doesn't always happen, but when you're quickly looting and it does go off, the game will give a loud crash sound effect to really sell just how loud you're being. Usually followed by the character saying, "Crap, something probably heard that." At which point, if you have a vehicle, you will want to make a hasty exit. Saying that, however, Outside of racing games, vehicles have never sounded louder than in this game. Driving through a town with the roar of the engine attracting all kinds of unwanted attention, you can feel all eyes on you as you drive by, along with gargled screams. Vehicles are very useful in this game, with how large the maps are and the absence of fast travel, and the fact that you have a stamina bar which will reduce the longer you spend on a character. The vehicles are as varied as they are useful. You can get cars, vans, military trucks, even an ambulance and many more. They are randomly dotted around the huge maps, the bigger vehicles generally being slower but sturdier and having more space in the trunk, which is an important premium when you are out scavenging. When on foot you can usually only have one particular resource. When you have a vehicle you can put as many of these rucksacks as you have spaces in the boot. A good amount of caution is necessary since this game has permadeath and frequent autosaves. So if you lose one of your survivors, you're likely gone for good. Except maybe in the case of shenanigans like Alt F4ing out of the game, which somewhat cheapens the experience. You'll want to keep your people alive. If not for the attachment perspective, then from one of convenience. It takes time to level up the 5 skills that all characters have, and a fully leveled up character is much more handy than a fresh newbie. The skills are cardio, fighting, shooting, and wits, with most being self-explanatory, except maybe for wits, which you level by scavenging and getting stealth kills. A lot of characters have an already assigned 5th skill, but some do have free slots, allowing you the freedom to choose which skill you are looking for, whether that be medicine, chemistry, utilities, or a good handful of others. Enlisting help from community members is a handy feature if you are about to go on a dangerous mission, or just want some backup. You don't have to go alone. These people accompanying you can carry extra equipment too, which is very useful if you don't have a vehicle yet. Even if you do, it does add value to have one extra rucksack of resources, and the lab should be credited for continually updating State of Decay ever since its release, constantly adding fixes and even big updates for the game. At time of writing, Homecoming is the latest update. I am enjoying jumping back into the game and starting a new community and seeing what the update has to offer. I didn't even realise it was a thing until I saw the announcement at Gamescom, which I was very excited about. A chance to go back to Trumbull Valley from the first game. Other game modes, Daybreak and Heartland. Heartland is a more story-driven mode, which I really enjoyed, introducing the Blood Plague in its earlier form. Daybreak is an enjoyable wave-based mode, which is a nice change from the usual modes. A small feature that I really enjoyed and wish more games would incorporate is that in Daybreak you earn points that you can actually spend in the main modes, making your time spent in Daybreak feeling fun and worthwhile. It's also nice to have a mode where ammo is more plentiful. In the main modes, they can be a little bit sparse, depending on your base's situation and scavenging habits. Getting headshots in this game is really quite satisfying. The sound design of the headshot is almost as good as the original Gears of War. Anyone who's played it will know what I mean. The music also deserves a shout out, as it really helps to build the mood as you're driving through the large maps.
Don't give that screamer a chance to yell.
Lastly, I wanted to cover the Blood Plague, corrupting the areas around the plague carts, which you'll have to destroy in order to capture buildings in their area. Blood Plague variants of zombies are more dangerous than your run-of-the-mill brain munchers. The Blood Plague juggernauts are right bastards, especially in Daybreak. Usually a few hits from Zeds usually wouldn't be such a dire situation. However, the Plague variants are a different case. A few hits from these things and you'll develop the Blood Plague. Unless you can get a person to an infirmary, a countdown will start. You will have half an hour, real time, to create a cure from plague samples dropped by variants. However, especially on harder difficulties, these are a little harder to come by, as it may be one drop from every 10 or so zombies. If you don't treat the person with the plague in time, the person will turn in the middle of your base, or wherever they are, when the timer runs out, which along with permanently losing one of your survivors, risks infecting more of your community members. You'll want to clear out the plague hearts for a few reasons. However, you'll need to come prepared, as these hearts do have a fair bit of health, and the hearts cry out for help when you attack them, so finishing them quickly is in your best interest. If you do manage to destroy one, you will be rewarded with good loot and a good amount of samples to make a cure for any of the survivors who might have contracted the blood plague from overexposure to one of the many plague zombie bites nearby. Thankfully, destroying the plague heart clears out any zombies in the area, so you will have a bit of respite. Clearing out the hearts will also free up important parts as well, like new outposts. Once your community starts to grow, if you're anything like me, you'll quickly feel the need to move to a bigger place, with more rooms and possibilities for extra utilities. You can also capture regular buildings or outposts for a variety of bonuses, like extra beds, daily resources, and access to your base's storage. It's also one of the winning conditions of maps. Destroy all hearts and you have the option to move on to a new map with a handful of your survivors to start again. If all of this sounds like your cup of tea, I urge you to give this game a try. At time of writing, State of Decay 2 is available on Xbox Game Pass. If you can look past the junk, you will have a hell of a time in this special zombie-filled game. Thanks for joining me in my little corner of the internet. I'll see you next time.
That's one plague heart that won't give us any more trouble.
It's not easy. That's how we take this town back.